Good morning and welcome to American Dream TV. I'm your host, Michelle Sadownick, and today we are here at Terra Farms in Delray Beach. We are going to interview Rhonda Fitch-Hall from the Herd Foundation, where humans and horses connect. So here we are with Sarah Lortangeli and Stitch the horse, and you are going to tell us a little bit about what you do for the Herd Foundation.
Yeah, sure. So I'm an equine facilitator. My job is to help our participants learn how to interact with the horses. What we do is we focus mostly on using horse language through natural horsemanship techniques to communicate with the horses. And horses, they don't talk like we do verbally. They talk with energy and body language. So we learn to listen with our bodies, with our eyes, and respond in the same way.
Can you show us some of the ways that you interact with the horse to have them interact with the veterans?
Sure. So one of the first things that I'll teach one of our participants is how to invite a horse in to connect with you. When you interact even with people, there's two key things. You want to let somebody be welcomed in, but you also want to be able to set a boundary if you feel unsafe. So those are the two things that I usually teach somebody right away. Okay. I'll teach you. How's that?
I would love that.
Okay, so follow me. Horses communicate with two main principles, pressure and release. So us just looking at Stitch, you see how he has an ear kind of trained towards us?
Yeah.
He knows we're here. So that's pressure, just looking at your horse. Here he comes, right?
Oh, great.
The other part of that is the release. So if we back up,
okay,
we're creating some space, some distance, and you turn to face me for a second, we'll just talk.
Okay.
We've just released that pressure. And in that release, you allow time for a response from the horse.
This is amazing. I love horses.
They're the best.
Hi, Scott. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So you're a 10-year veteran, and you were in the Air Force.
Yes.
And so how did you come across the Herd Foundation?
I was security police canine while I was in. Basically, that's why I ended up going to the VA. I had some pretty bad calls that I went on. Well, eventually, things started to catch up to me. And I went to the VA in West Palm Beach and checked a lot of boxes. Go through a couple therapists, then I get to a psychologist, and she refers me for equine assisted services. And I live in Boca, and the clinic was right there in Delray, and she said Herd Foundation. So I came over here a little over 2 years ago, and I never left. This place literally changed my life. How I think, how I view things, it's giving me peaceful, easy feeling, as the song says.
Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell me a little bit about the Herd Foundation and your mission?
We established Herd Foundation in 2018 with the idea of connection. We didn't want to focus on a diagnosis. We didn't want to focus on a label. What we did know is that veterans needed a place to connect and to have purpose. And so do horses. Horses really need that purpose, and they need connection in order to thrive. We started Herd Foundation and we began working with veterans. We connected with the West Palm Beach VA. This practice of connecting with horses is so hard to describe because it's, as you just experienced, it's really about coming out here and connecting with the horses. So it makes me think about, in the very beginning, our very first group, we had a group of veterans that came in one by one. It was an 8-week group, and there was probably like 6 or 7 veterans. We had an orientation, and we made observations of the horses, learning about the way they communicate. And when they left, I watched, and they all walked out the gate together. I was like, yeah, this is what we want. This is what our idea was. All of these horses have stories, but what we've learned is we try not to get stuck in their past stories, and we really try to be here in the present of who they are today, and that they have a future, a purpose. And that's really what we find veterans are looking for, being in the present and having purpose.
Hi Tom. Thank you so much for joining us today on American Dream TV.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'm so excited to have an opportunity to speak with you. Being the mayor of Delray Beach, what visions do you see our community in the future?
Well, the biggest part of Delray Beach, we've seen great growth. We need to manage the growth. We need to make sure that we don't go overboard in terms of overbuilding.
Right.
We want to protect traffic. We want to protect the integrity of the neighborhoods. And most importantly, we want to protect our beach. And we want to protect the jewel, Atlantic Avenue, and to make sure that the charm, the look, the feel, the scale, all kind of stays the same, because frankly, that's why a lot of people met here. We have a very unique situation with Atlantic Avenue coming all the way down to the beach. And this is nowhere else, no other city has this. And so we have a unique geographical charm that we just have to preserve.
Yes, I don't think there's anywhere in Florida that's like this. I mean, you just can't duplicate it.
It's a wonderful place to be because of the level of citizen engagement. We are one of the few cities that I have ever seen, which I have to tell you, I think accounts for a lot of its success, because the city does partner with its residents, and a lot of cities don't really do that, and we do that here.
Well, thank you for joining us
My
today.
pleasure. Thank you for asking to chat.
Of course. Thank you for joining us today in our beautiful city of Delray Beach. We had an opportunity today to meet with the Herd Foundation and experience human connection with horses, and meet with our one and only Mayor of Delray Beach. Thank you again. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.